So what this is I played a competitive game as a Risa, so I'm trying to climb with it at the moment. And I'm gonna do, I recorded a video for VOD. I'm gonna take the video here, I'm gonna do my own little analysis of it and see what I get out of it. And then I'm gonna hopefully set it up for a coach to come see, set it up for a VOD on the internet and see what kind of response they get, so that I can check and see what the difference is between what I normally think and what they think. That way I can kind of try to adjust what it is I think, kind of see if there's places that my blind spots. The reason they call them blind spots is because you can't see them. So I'm going to see what I see, I'm going to see what they see, check the difference, and that's my blind spot. That's kind of what I'm going for right now. I have watched this once before, and having watched this once before, let me turn this down a little bit. Having watched it once before, I do have some thoughts about. One second. I do have some thoughts about what I saw the first time through, and I'm going to go through and see if I can find more stuff, obviously. So to start with, the most embarrassing part about this is having, in the moment of watching the game, I thought that, you know, I'm doing great, and I can't figure out why it is my teammates aren't with me. Going back and looking at it, I now understand why it was that my teammates weren't with me, and it was because they were doing something cool and I was missing out on it. And almost entirely the reason that we lost this game falls down on me and my actions. It's embarrassing, actually, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. But yeah, well, let's just go ahead and get started. Go through and do some junk here. And now we get started. And I'm always trying to work on communications, and which is funny because, ironic, because what screws me is I don't understand what the hell they're talking about. But the initial things, we're on defense. We set up our, and you'll see where we set up here in just a second. We'll let this run for a bit.
Hey, everybody.
I'm still trying to figure that out. And yeah. Again, my apologies to all
That's actually
my co-players here, because I was terrible.
Look at this team call.
So let's skip ahead to where we
Hey, I
set
admire the
up.
optimism. So generally, I just try to set the shield right here in the left side of this truck. That gives me a fallback into this room here. So I'll set right here and fall back to these corners if they push past us.
Okay, so normally I set the shield right here so that I get a nice straight long sight line there. I can try a cheeky little halt, which I try, it never works, but one of these days. I set up here. Now, I was talking to my son who was watching the VOD with me, and he said, high ground. You're a Risa, you have long sight lines, makes it more difficult to hit high ground. So I know this. I did a VOD review with G. Jojo, and he was super helpful talking about high ground as well. The problem that I've run into is in the lower ELOs where I live, most of my teammates don't utilize my shield in the high ground, and so they all go down and can't utilize the shield and end up dying. So I thought that keeping the shield down here in this area would be better for my teammates. The reality is probably that if I'm up higher on the high ground, which is off to the right back here beside the objective, I've got a better sight line. I can still shoot and deny the area, even if they're not going to use my shield. So step one is I should have been on high ground and didn't pay attention to it. And then we're about to see what the most embarrassing part of this is once they open this up and start their attack. So,
Sound reasonable?
cheeky never works. So here's the part is I think they're sneaking up. Here, let me pause this. I think what they're doing is they're sneaking up tight against this wall just to stay out of my firing line. I didn't even think about the sim teleporter over here because I never sim. I rarely play with sims apparently, and just didn't even think about it.
Yeah, I'm moving back.
So here's where we are. If let's back up to goodness, this is a bright, shiny game. If I'm set up over here on this high ground, then I'm in a much better position to defend all this stuff. I'm just in a better position overall, and probably should have been there in the first place.
Yeah, I'm moving back.
And so here's where we get to one of the points that I think is really strongly overlooked when people coach lower ELO people is once the fight starts, being able to determine what your best position should be in the fight is a difficult thing. What I do here is I take and try to turn around so that I've got some kind of structure to my back, my enemy in my front, and the shields between us.
Doomfist down. Okay.
And here in a second I get another little thing as they're flanking, I'm trying to keep them out, and right there immediately before there I let this, if you'll watch, there's a Lucio that comes around the corner here, and as the Lucio comes around the corner, I'm taking some damage, but we're fighting it off reasonably well. I reset the shield, trying to pick this McCree, I miss it. The Lucio right there comes along beside me, gets behind me, and I get so distracted by the diva in front of me that I have no chance of reacting. There's one behind me, and I'm done. So that's what happens there. Looking back on it, if I had been able to position more along the line of here, with my back to this, I'd have had a health pack behind me, I'd have had cover on two sides, less likely to get flanked from anybody, and I'd have kept an eye on the high ground. There's somebody up here, it looks like, but they would have, I think it would have been a better position in that fight, although that was just disorganized and chaotic to begin with. So here we are. We'll go skip ahead.
Second point, I don't think it...
So yeah, I die.
Yeah, the diva took me down.
And here's where it would have been beneficial to me to skip out of watching how I died and to flip over. I don't need the kill cam there. Probably shouldn't have watched it. Well, it's back.
Top left.
So now let's get back to here. Don't need to watch that. We set up on objective
You
B.
just have to stay back because their heroes are... There's Doomfist at top left. They're flanking to the left. They're going to try to get to the high ground behind us. Ah, they just
killed you.
just
That's
getting
what they
rolled
did.
here. This is not a good sign. Okay, I've got my ult up, so I'm going to come in from the left, try to set it up, and see if I can get some traction.
Okay, letting this play out, watching, I don't
Okay, way to
see.
clear.
We did get the point clear there, which is nice. I said watch the, didn't need flanker out of position, watch the kill feed. I'd already lost 2 feet. Here, let's go back to that little note. Now we've got the staggering in, should have taken the high ground. I should have been up on the high ground back here. That would have prevented that diva flanker from getting up there. If the diva flanker hadn't been able to get up there, we could have had a better shot, and I might not have died on that time. That, and it also gives me better sight line, so I should have been on the high ground there. 525 tunneled on the diva. Let's see, 507 comes back in. We die. I tunnel on the diva. I kind of had to though, because he was all over me, and that's it. It just got me. So let's scoot ahead. We did manage to clear the point. I thought that was a good use of the ult right there. I mean, anything that's successful enough to get us
Okay, way to clear the point, guys.
cleared up here. And this was a mistake the other team makes that we don't
This
capitalize.
is down.
They're team fight is well, good, and lost, and yet they kind of stagger
Okay,
themselves
stagger 'em,
here.
chase 'em down.
So,
We got it. Stagger them, make them take their time.
so now here's the part that kills
You got
me.
flank
And
and
this is
Moira.
the end of the.
Get her out,
We're
we
watching
keep
the
them staggered.
focused on the Moira. And
I'm gonna keep an eye on the main choke.
so I am. I'm trying to keep my eyes focused here to keep us from being
Our left
flanked.
herd.
Back up there again. Start taking damage. I'm debilitated. I'm a little low, and it's
Oh, they
over.
have a freaking bastion on the platform.
Oh, I hate that. He's just a wreck. So yeah, they
Nope,
pretty
they're
much
winning.
worked us there. I would love to say
I
that.
was not ready for.
I would love to say that in the spawn area and all the hero choose screen, we figured out some grand strategy. But well, we tried to, and this is the worst and most embarrassing part. So let's just go ahead and do that right now, right? So let's listen.
All right, all we got to do is just. Yeah, I suck at sim. You don't want me at sim.
Which is very true.
I say we try to do a hard push around to the left. All right, if you set up the.
So as I mentioned in the
You
first
guys want me
video,
to set a shield and try to draw fire and keep them.
as I mentioned in the first video, I didn't realize the Volskaya had the back. I never do that, so I didn't think about it. So when I'm talking to them here, I'm thinking about just a regular push left through that little workshop area.
Occupied while you guys flank, or do you want me to flank with you? Okay, we'll all stay together. No diversionary stuff.
So, yeah, idiot. That's gross. So we've got a plan, which we unfaithfully execute. So we start taking fire. And see, no,
Okay, I'm
to
gonna-
my defense, they're all, it looked like there. I saw McCree here.
Stagger forward with the.
I can hear, I'm looking where they are, I don't know, and they're all right here, so. Their turret got destroyed, her teleporter got destroyed, so we didn't get that anyway. They were waiting on it.
Whenever you guys.
Okay, so they finally, as you can see
just
here,
flank-
they've got the teleporter set up finally, and they're going to flank. And so what happens here is, and you can watch it in real time, they've got a successful flank going on. I'm coming here on the inside because I don't know what in the hell they're doing. And when I go draw all the attention back to the point just in time to keep them from getting set up so they get to arrive in the middle of my fight and die.
I can.
Because I don't know what in the hell I'm doing.
I'm getting back on the point. They're gonna have to come back for me.
And all of this looks terribly familiar and just like the thing that killed me last time.
Okay, get to the point.
So here you can hear me start to get tilted. I start to get a little pissy about it, sorry. Because I can't figure out why my teammates aren't doing the things that I'm expecting them to do when it turns out I'm the idiot. So, I don't know what, if
Okay, we've got a
any.
little pressure here. We can get back and get this.
And then here's where I noticed that, watch, we're way down here, up in the, so yeah, I want to point this out, and I'm terrible at work at watching the kill feed. I just am. So, this is one of the things that I desperately need to work on. But I miss it this time, I catch it the next time, I think. So looking up here, we've got rid of their Orisa, and then bang, bang, bang. So
we've
we're
got a little
down.
pressure here. We can get back
Now
to
we're
defense.
down again. And here I am charging in like a moron to go get feed into the enemy team and die. Which is precisely what I do, you know? So, hey, at least I'm consistent. Just worked. Running into an entire team all by myself, and listen to the crankiness in my voice as I start thinking about how I can blame my teammates.
Absolutely. I was trying to get the turret, man, but I had a Genji that was killing me, so I can't get it.
Yep, starting to tilt.
I
Okay.
haven't seen a teleporter, so I don't know where it is. All right, I'm going to set a shield here, and we're going to push.
Now they've got all the ult economy on their side. They're just going to crush us. And there's really not a ton I can do about it. Trying to protect my Mercy. She gets whacked.
I don't think I'm doing any good as a sailor guy. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to come set shield up further.
The hack.
Got
God, I
halted right in.
Grabbed out, or halted out.
So here's where I see this. I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to rush out. What? Oh, look at that. I actually
Okay, I'm
noticed the
not
kill
going
feed.
all
It's
dead like that.
That was big enough for me to see a quad kill. Apparently it takes a quad kill for me to pay attention to the kill feed. I am bronze after all.
Hey, at least we're going to all be together for sure, right? Let's go around to the right this
Yeah.
time.
And part of what happened is they captured so quick. They have 428 in their time bank that we all felt like, and I felt anyway, I think everybody else did, that we needed to press really hard because of the time discrepancy, and it didn't work out. Set the, because I'm trying to make some kind of traction to get us in here. I get a pick.
Yeah, they're
And again, Lucio behind me. I could
I
hear
was trying to
it.
get the turret, but
I can hear him behind me, but I get
at least we're going to all be
focused.
together for sure, right?
Let's do that. So I hear him. I hear the Lucio behind me, but I stop caring because I think if I got to get the turret out because people are just taking damage for the turret. So I figure maybe I can tank a little damage as I take out the turret, and it didn't work out that way for me.
Yeah, I was trying to get the turret, but two people snuck it behind me and killed me, so can't get it if I can't be alive.
Ooh, hear the salt. Man, I'm cranky about this.
Hey, you know what? Good try. I actually appreciate the crap out of the communications that have been going on.
Seriously.
though,
No, it's
honestly.
good. I know we're going to lose at this point. It's pretty obvious. It's been obvious for a few minutes. And I'm trying to control my tilt. Say nice things. Just ignore the turret. Go on in here just in time to meet the entire team, struggle for a second, and then die. And there we go. And that'll do.
I tried, guys.
So those are my notes, essentially, for this map. Let's see, feeding, getting tilted, whining. Those were my notes. Fail, feeding, getting tilted, whining. So that's what I see here. The big ones are I didn't take the high ground. I didn't understand what my teammates were trying to do so that I could work with them. I failed to respond to a Lucio twice that was behind me. That's bad. And I got tilted and pissy about things that were stupid because they were my fault. And that's what I have to work on. That and the kill feed, watching the kill feed. So stop feeding. Figure out what you're doing wrong or I'm doing wrong. Don't blame your teammates, blame yourself. And yeah, that seems to be the biggest takeaways right now. Now I'm going to set this up. I'm going to submit this same video for a coach to read, and we'll see what they say. I hope. Well, let's see. Let's watch the inevitable. Oh, look. See? Gold elims, silver damage. I was doing such a great job. No, no, I wasn't. It was terrible. And then we go to look at this big 12-17 right there. It's sitting right there still. I haven't played a competitive game since, although I'm going to try to get one or two in maybe today. So, all right. Thanks for watching. Hope this is helpful for you. And I can't wait to see what the coaches say.
Credit to tank. Some credit to healer.
Always credit your healers, guys.
And we're going to go across to the other team.